Deputy Secretary General Moses Nturima. But as I let him go, let's listen to what the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, Kipchumba Murkomen, had to say on the question of security, CCTV to be specific.
Let's not wait for the ministry officials to come and inspect whether the dormitories are safe or the classes are safe. We must take proactive steps ourselves as the principal and the board of management. Let us take proactive steps to ensure that our dormitories are not congested. They have proper exit and emergency doors. We make sure that this place is properly covered with CCTV cameras. We're very happy with schools that have good technology because that technology has helped to avert many problems. And I was asking myself, if the CCTV cameras that had been installed in the dormitories in Utumishi Academy, if they had a control room where the watchman is not sitting at the gate, but is at the control room looking at the movements of the students, that problem should have been stopped. Because the CCTV cameras were showing the movement of the kids when they are starting the fire and all that. I think we need to ensure that all our schools have proper CCTV cameras covering various and critical places, but we also need to ensure that our schools have control rooms where the watchman, instead of having a watchman at the gate, you have the watchman sitting at the CCTV room, control room, and he can be able to see what is happening around the school. That is more useful to the security of the school than one person sitting at one gate, yet the danger is inside through students that may have been radicalized to do the wrong things.
All right, Dr. Fernandez, your thought on that? Do you think CCTV is the answer, will make the difference?
Well, yes and no, because I'm sure those children knew that there were cameras. They've been in the school long enough, so they know that there were cameras. My question is, when all this movement was happening at whatever hour of the night, where were the adults? Because you cannot have 270 children. We're told that dormitory had 270 children alone. Where was there any adult? Maybe the school matron or a school nurse or somebody. Usually we have an adult accompanying these children in the school, so they knew they were alone. And they knew there were cameras, of course, and they knew the cameras were unmanned. So like the Waziri is saying, I agree with him, the CCTVs do not stop the problem. Maybe they've helped us figure out what happened, but they were not there. They didn't stop the crime from actually happening. This is a school. You need adults on site. So I was thinking, in this dormitory, where was everybody? Why is it that children are even running around in the night when they should be asleep? I mean, you see, so that lack of supervision. And in the schools where I've been to, the good schools, they have somebody with the girls actually sleeping in with them on every level. Yes, there's a school matron or there's a school, whatever it is, nurse or school medical person, always housekeeper, so that when there is noise, she can go and investigate. We are told that there were matchboxes, there was kerosene. How did these things get into the school? A school that is supposedly supposed to have some form of security. How did these girls access these materials? I'm sure that there must have been an adult enabling that movement of dangerous things into the school. So this still goes down to the management of the school, and that is why I say sometimes, yes, the management is liable, because these are glaring gaps. There is no way children can access kerosene, can access paraffin. They're walking around at 2 a.m., they're unsupervised, and then when the fire breaks out, you can't even access them to help them because you are outside, the girls are inside burning. I mean, it's really, as schools, we need to just sit down and audit our systems. And this is another appeal that I'm making to the schools. Do we even know the danger points? Do we know the places where there's a potential for a disaster? Have we audited our schools? And have we come up with solutions? Maybe this is something that could be done in this time. But I'm beginning to feel, Olivia, that we will talk, we will go back to status quo, and then we'll wait for the next fire. Because when he says improve congestion, what does that mean? It means that every school that is congested either closes or we remove these children. That is what it means, is it? Yes, so if a school has 3,000 children and they have capacity for 2,000, we are saying remove 1,000 children. Is that going to happen? It's not going to happen unless the parents are proactive and move the children individually. I want to speak, Olivia, about the private school system. And there are very, very many good private schools in this country. And people might think that private schools are expensive. Not necessarily. There's a private school for every pocket. So there is no reason why we are pushing our children into this congested public schools. That is a solution, because we need to decongest. We need to decongest today. There is no way we're going to say decongest the schools. Where will the children go? Yes, move them into these schools that have been built. They've been built well. There is more space. And I think the operators are more judicial about the health and safety of their children. Because we will talk, but for as long as that 3,000 capacity school is not decongested today, we have not solved the problem. We're waiting for the next disaster. And I like what Mheshimiwa has said, that these children have been put in such a difficult physical condition. Yeah, congestion, they can't use them. If you go to some of these public schools, the toilets are so bad. We have cases of children who do not go to the loo for a week. And in fact, what they do, they stop eating. Because if I eat, I'll need to use the washrooms. But the washrooms are so pathetic, so they don't eat, and then they have severe constipation. And these children come to school in a very sorry situation because they cannot absolutely use that washroom, right? And when you speak to the school heads, they tell you, I do not have budget to clean the washrooms. I have priority other things to do. So how are we going to solve that problem unless we're going to build extra ablution blocks? That takes time. What do we do today? And that is why I think children are burning dormitories. It is a protest against the terrible living conditions that we're subjecting these children. And some of these kids, by the way, come from very nice homes, come from very elegant homes. In their houses, they have good sanitation, they have good toilets, they have a good living space. And then you take that child into that situation. The child will think, why do my parents hate me so much? That they have to leave their home that is okay to this situation in the name of being in school. So how will they protest? Let us ban these dormitories so that we are sent home. Yeah. So in as much as I'm not condoning what they're doing, we have to think, what are they trying to communicate? And again, to the parents, if you yourself cannot use that washroom, how do you expect your child to use it? And that is why they're not allowed to go and visit, because if you saw that, you will make a bit of noise about it. If you cannot sleep in that corridor, how do you expect your child to sleep in that corridor? And then you want your child to do well in class. They will not. They will not perform academically because, by the way, in these dormitories, you can't sleep. Children don't rest because kids are snoring, others are breathing badly, others are coughing, it is stuffy, you know. So even the sleep quality is affected. So then the child wakes up in the morning, they're tired, they're irritable, you know, and they're expected to wake up at 4, sleep at 11. There's so much content to cover. We're just brewing, you know, a pressure cooker. And this is how it explodes. So again, how are we going to solve this problem today? Because if we start saying, oh, let's build more dormitories, that is going to take 6 months to a year. He's talking about CCTV installation. CCTV is expensive. For a big school, we're talking millions of shillings, isn't it? To put cameras everywhere and surveillance. Is that going to happen today? No, it's not going to. So what can we do today to make sure that our children are safe today? And this trend of banning schools, I don't know if the schools talk to each other. Because it's looking like, you know. And in fact, I have seen over the weekend, many schools were sending SMSs to their parents. Come and collect. They've given them a midterm in advance, because they don't know how else to contain the situation.
Okay.
So I don't know. We have to think, what can we do today?
All right.
Yeah.
And I'll pose that to you, Honorable Session, as we wind up. What do you want to see happening today? Because we know what the problems are. The ministry knows what the problems are. Just listening to Kipchumba Murkomen, what do you want to see happening today?
Let us not have a conversation and then it dies out and we resume to the normal. Let us do more than we should. I think even if it needs a national conference or a national conversation on this, we should escalate it to a more serious level. Things to do with CCTVs is complementary to enhance security. According to me, it is worth investing in it so that we can monitor and check what is happening. Professional counseling, investing in getting professional counselors, I don't agree with that, because the counselor, number one, is the principal of the school. So what would the principal of the school be doing if you are not dealing with each and every student? And the balance of job assignments at the ministry is such that teachers in administrative position have got less workload so that they can do more in the management and control of students. And every teacher is trained on child psychology and management, so that then you are able to give this, administer counseling to students. So I don't agree with us saying we employ counselors, so that what then will the teachers be doing? As a professional teacher, that is a domain and duty of the teacher. And
but
the
are
lead
there
counselor,
teachers who are specifically trained
and the lead
to provide
counselor, of course, there is a department for guidance and counseling for efficient administration, but that is manned by teachers. And I think on extreme cases, you can seek professional counseling of students elsewhere for medical reasons. So I think we need more money to hire more teachers, but not to hire counselors in an ecosystem of lack of resources. And this, of course, is not in the budget. So I think we limit ourselves to what government should be able to do. The other thing is on limiting the number of students per school in terms of enrollment. This over-enrollment that comes from the ministry should bear responsibility if they have done that. Why do you send capitation on extra number of students who are outside the capacity of the school? Because then it looks like the increased enrollment is merged with resources and expected capitation from the ministry. And that is why you look at the admission this year. There are schools that do not have students, and there are schools that have 10 times the ordinary number. That is lack of, that indeed lack of regulation in terms of admission. When you look at in the country at the moment, boarding admission, the student boarders in secondary school is 26%. The rest is 74% in day schools. The 100% transition should have been managed in such a way that the increased admission should have been more on the day schools, improve the facilities, avail more laboratories, avail more workshops for music and for the rest of exciting curriculum, rather than congesting the boarding schools. We should have deliberately controlled. If you don't control the numbers in a boarding school, then you are preparing for disaster.
Okay.
And in Japan, when it comes to inspection of schools, the quality education begins not in the classroom. It begins in the toilets where students are using. Is it of good quality? You've had students who decide not to eat because they don't want to visit the toilets. It's a tragedy. It begins in the dormitory where they sleep. Okay. Do they get quality sleep? So those are things that needs to be checked. The ministry should not force, but then we should be able to say 100% transition, let us maintain, but let us avoid populating the boarding schools that do not have facilities. And then number 3, the pressure to admit. We've talked about this, that say school A has got a capacity of 300.
Okay.
And you are forced to admit 500. Let us not be violators of the law.
All right.
And government should not lead in violation of law. And nobody should, okay, including the boards of management, including the principals and the schools. Let us admit exactly that particular number.
Okay.
If it is about inspection of schools, let it be regularly done. And if the law says establish an education standards and quality assurance as per section 64 to 70 of the Education Act,
Compliance.
and that has not been implemented for 13 years, it has not been implemented. Why is it talking and we fail to put in systems and structures that will ensure that we run education qualitatively, equitably, and distribute students evenly across schools and ensure the safety of all learners at the end of the day?
Dr. Manyasa, your last word?
Thank you. It is very easy to start to remedy the problems we have. One of the things we can do today is redistribute teachers. Parents are following opportunities for learning. That is why they are congesting children in a few schools. Let us redistribute teachers and upgrade the quality that can be attainable in Cluster 4 schools. If we do that, Cluster 4 schools educate 70% of the learners in this country, we will be able to decongest the so-called big schools. And the ministry should rein in, should actually put its foot down and make sure that in January we have an admission. We have a window there to start to redistribute learners by giving more learners to schools that have few. I know secondary schools that have 100 learners. They have a lot of space to accommodate learners there. But they don't have them because they don't have teachers, they don't have facilities, and parents don't allow their children to go there. We can remedy that as soon as now, starting to redistribute teachers, January redistribute learners through the new grade 10 transition at the start of the year. And we can enforce by showing that culprits will be punished. With this case of Utumishi Academy, let the government, all arms of government that are working on this, resolve the issue so that there is sufficient disincentive for anyone to set a building, set a dormitory when your colleagues are sleeping on fire. Let us use this case to resolve that.
All right, thank you very much, my panelists this morning. I'm going to speed read the feedback. It's a lot. I'll try to cover as much as I can, but time has caught up with us. And one of you had talked about how schools are releasing students because of the restlessness. A message has been forwarded to me, and this is from a school. Following the restlessness and disturbance experienced during preps in school last night, the Board of Management and School Administration have resolved to temporarily release all students to allow for restoration of normalcy and a comprehensive assessment of the situation. Let's take a look at your feedback quickly. I will speed read Nisamehe. This is Babu Michael, says, I honestly feel that more action should be taken to make all schools in Kenya adhere to the set out safety measures. Are all our schools safe right now? No. Why? Because our actions are reactionary. We act after incidents have occurred. Unfortunate. Let's see who's next. Team Kenya, let us stop blame games and just abolish boarding school. Government banned corporal punishment, so students live like the world is theirs. Teachers are living like bosses, and the government and parents are absent. More disaster likely to come. Let's see who's next. Engineer Lazaro. If you're quick to defend your children's behavior, one day you will hire a lawyer to defend their crimes in court. Discipline isn't child abuse. Schools should start a program to analyze child behavior right from the parents' home. This is Bob Otieno Wino, who says government through Ministry of Education hasn't prioritized safety of students because they have failed to implement recommendations on safety regulations in boarding schools. Chemais Korir, who says, Olive, concerning the fire in schools, my opinion is what is the work of a matron in schools? Schools must have security guards who have the mandate to monitor CCTV footage, or matrons be included in monitoring while they're also asleep as guards monitor outside. Babu Michael again, during our days, there used to be an officer on a motorbike going school to school with a register and a set of school regulations from the Ministry of Education and making sure they are followed. They even at times sit in the classrooms during lessons. Is that it? Oh, this is Godi Barasa Were. The education sector continues to suffer when key appointments by the president prioritize loyalty over competence. Weak accountability breeds complacency, leaving learners, teachers, and the future of education at risk. Sheila Sweden, I think we'll end here. The laxity and cluelessness in education sector is so glaring. The government has abdicated its role of supervision and ensuring that the guidelines are fully observed. Of course, it's a conversation that will continue, but for Daybreak, I will release you. My name is Olive Burrows. We've had with me in studio Dr. Njoki Fernandez, who is a school health and safety expert, Wilson Sossion, former NARD Secretary General, as well as nominated Member of Parliament, Dr. Emmanuel Manyasa, Executive Director, Usawa Agenda, and we had on phone the KUPPET Deputy Secretary General, Moses Nturima. Good morning.
Star 811 star 380 hash to get North London as your skiza tune.
Nini nakufanya ukuje nyumbani?
Mimi nimekuja kukula ugali.
Anytime you see me on your screen, you know I'm talking about Diaspora Connect.
I live in Tacoma, Washington. There are a lot of opportunities in healthcare.
There is always an opportunity for you. It happened for me.
I tell people New York City is my playground.
So you know we do this 10 p.m. till late every Saturday. But right now, Friday afternoon is all about Diaspora Connect Rewind.
You don't realize how you don't know how to speak English properly and arrange your words until you learn in London.
Alafu Saturday 10 p.m. till late, tuko pale kwenye live show, so make sure you're there.
Every Monday to Saturday at 8 p.m. What happens when the life you dreamt of suddenly slips away?
I have some very important information to give you about your daughter.
I said I don't have a daughter, don't you get it? I don't have a daughter.
I need you to tell me the truth.
I'm not going to calm down and come and go whenever you want. I don't know why I didn't notice it. I can't stand lies. I can't, Daddy. Why are you here?
Just when Isabella feels she has lost everything, an unexpected gift changes her world forever. Regalo de Amor. Every Monday to Saturday at 8 p.m.
Tell me, what's up with you?
Me? What about me? What?
Pablo, I've seen the way you look at Ursula.
Tuma direct from Bagna Pisa Link. Tuma direct bila story mo. Free up to 1K, 20 bob, below $1 million. Tuma direct from Bagna Pisa Link.
Every Saturday at 7:45 p.m.
Chiruni Dolsuru, 9 cents. You can count it, then you get to get mbele.
Boni chulo gima boni dwaro. Ogimoro mrogi tijwa, kata gima nyuolwa dwaro.
Maua ma plastic atero kanye.
Chieng'wa chadieri ok en chieng' dhao. Ng'anyo chakre kiny.
Ang'o marach ga kodi mama?
Pamela, abiro arrange for everything. Abiro chulo gimoro mora medwaro.
Peso bondo, en pi wang jolupo inam kai.
Pesa en pesa Otieno.
Jochiende modonjo nyathi